Alrighty, so today on the van build, we are building this. It's a step, that's also my bed, that's also a storage compartment, that's also a shoe rack, that's also a everything.
So we're gonna cut this piece right here. It's 77 inches long.
Okay.
So you're gonna get the tape measure and put it on there. Okay, now it's 77, right where the big line is. You're gonna just make a mark on the wood. Okay, now this tape measure, you have to push the button to close it. So lift it up and push the button and it'll come in. Okay, now we're gonna set this on here. Do you remember how to do this saw? And you have to make sure it's pushed up against this so it's perfectly square. You just kind of get it and you don't pull the trigger until it's right where you want it. Yep, that looks good. Now lift it up a little. You're gonna hold the trigger, go down all the way through, and then lift back up, then let go of the trigger.
Okay.
Okay, go for it. Perfect. Good job. All right, now we need another one of those at 77 inches. So what you can do is you can use that to trace it. So set that one on top, make your mark, and then cut it again. Good. Perfect. Okay, now let's look at our drawing. We got Cruiser Boy chilling in the chair. He's feeling sick today, so he's just hanging out in the sunshine watching his iPad. Is that cozy? Okay. All right. Are they even?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. We've done this bottom piece and this top piece, so now we need these. So we're going to build this whole rectangle out here. Okay. All right, so when you're figuring your height measurement and you want it to be exactly level with the step over the wheel well, the thing you got to remember is the thickness of the wood. So if you were taking this piece of wood, putting it on the bottom, and then you wanted to have your next piece go on top of it, you're not putting it on the side of it, you're putting it on top of it, and then this one's gonna go up here on top, you need to know what the piece is in the middle, right? So if we're going 13¼ inches total, you have to subtract each of these boards. Okay? So put your tape measure on and see how thick that is. Okay, so what is that?
1.5 inches.
1.5. So, in case you don't know this, when you buy wood at the store, this piece of wood right here on the sign with the price is called a 2x2. But the reality is it's what?
1.5.
1.5 by 1.5. So a lot of people don't know that. If you buy a 2x4, it's actually 1.5 by 3.5. The reason for that is when they cut it out of the tree, it's all rough and like kind of uneven at 2x4 or 2x2. And then they need to make it nice and square so we can actually use it to build with. So then they have to kind of trim it and make it nice and square, which takes that 1/2 inch off on each side. So it makes it a little bit smaller. Okay, so if we're going 13¼ how much is this thickness? 1.5 plus 1.5.
3.
Okay, so 13¼ minus 3, 10¼ So our two pieces that go on the end are going to be 10¼ each. Show you a trick. See how this is like kind of rough right here? the driveway is like natural sandpaper. So, because if driveway, when they make concrete, they broom it with a broom, so it makes little tiny grooves in it. So you can take this rough edge and just drag it across, and it smooths it out. But you gotta go this way, because the brooming is that way. Yep. So that's a little trick that a lot of people don't know, is your driveway is like natural sandpaper. So if you just get those little rough edges after a cut, feel free to drag it across that, kind of perpendicular to the broom lines in your concrete, and it'll sand it down real nice and real quick, and it makes it so you have a cleaner edge for putting together. Alright, so the next step is that we need to screw these together. We're basically creating a frame here. I'm going to show you a trick, Bode. So it's kind of hard to screw in this way because the drill doesn't sit very well like that. So what I like to do is get these started on this side where I'm pushing against the ground. It's easier. Get them most of the way in. And you don't want to put them side by side. You want to offset them a little bit or it can crack the wood. So I get both of these in most of the way, and then I can turn them, and it's much easier to do it this way now. All right, it's starting to take shape. Starting to get the bed frame put together, and it's fun to start seeing some progress here. And this is going to be Bode's bed. It's also going to be some storage, and it's also going to be our shoe rack. Right here, and you want to make sure that you're not like tilted down or up, just nice and level. Good.
Well, we finally finished the bed, so now it's time for what I wanted, the carpet. So we got it all cut right over there, and now we're gonna spray glue. Crew's gonna spray glue, and we're gonna stick it on right in there.
Alright, so the spray adhesive that we have is this 3M contact adhesive. What you want to do with this is you want to spray some glue onto the wood, the bed part, and then spray some glue onto the back of the carpet. Then you wait for about 1 or 2 minutes and let it kind of tack up. Once it gets real sticky, then you actually glue them together. So we're gonna go ahead and get this sprayed. got the carpet on. Now we need to cut out the storage cabinet door that we have here. So all we're going to do is find the little seam in the wood right here and put our knife on it and just drag it along the seam, and it will be a perfect straight cut. And it will... Cool. You happy with it?
Yeah.
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.